Hello and welcome to another lesson on the IELTS Coach. And my name is Mr. Lee and I am the main teacher at the IELTScoach.com. In today's lesson we're going to look at exactly what is the IELTS exam. If you are just starting out and preparing for the exam, or you've just been told that you need an IELTS score to graduate or to study overseas, then you will need to know exactly what the IELTS exam is all about. And the IELTS exam is an international test of English level. Basically, it tests how good your English is for the four main skills of reading, writing, listening, and speaking. It is the most popular test in the world at the moment, and it is becoming even more popular. And it is designed to see how good your English is for use when you're at school or at university, when you are in a work situation, and also in everyday situations. And the IELTS exam is, or was created and is managed by three organizations. So three organizations put a lot of work into maintaining and creating the exams. And those organizations are IDP Australia, the British Council, and Cambridge English. IELTS is accepted by a lot of institutions, schools, universities, companies, immigration authorities. So if you're immigrating to a country, you may need an IELTS score to show your level of English. And the IELTS is marked by highly trained IELTS examiners. All examiners undergo the same training all around the world, and the training and the marking is very strict. The examiners are monitored quite strictly. Let's now look at the sections in the IELTS exam. So I mentioned that the IELTS exam tests your four skills: listening, reading, writing, speaking. And there are two parts to the exam. There's academic and there is general training, or two types of exam, I should say. So first, both exams, the academic and the general training, have the same listening test. And the listening test, it's about 30 minutes of actual listening. There are four different sections, or four topics that you will listen to, and then 40 items, or 40 questions in total. Usually 10 questions per section. And you also get an extra 10 minutes in the listening to transfer answers. So the listening exam takes a total of about 40 minutes. The next, we have the different parts for academic and general training. So we can see we have academic reading and general training reading, academic writing, general training writing. You can see that the time limits, the number of parts, and the number of questions are the same. The differences are the type of reading and the type of writing that you have to do. In this short video, I won't go into the details, but the academic writing, you have to describe some data, a chart or a graph, and write an essay. In the general training writing, you write a letter or email in part one, and then also an essay of a more general nature. The reading, the type of reading that you do is different. In the academic reading, it is articles or perhaps an essay of an academic nature. In general training, it may be advertisements and more everyday reading material. And the fourth skill that is tested, it's the same for general training and academic, is the speaking. It takes 11 to 14 minutes. There are three very distinct parts. So I won't go into the other details. There will be other videos and other articles on my website about the very specific requirements for each of those skills and each of those tests. But we will look at why you need IELTS. So we know what the IELTS exam is. Why would a student need to do IELTS? To access postgraduate programs in certain countries. So some countries require that you need IELTS to do a master's degree, or even just to do a bachelor's degree in your home country, not just in English-speaking countries. So it depends on the country. To access twinning programs. These are programs where perhaps you study in your home country with a foreign university. So I know here in Vietnam, where I am, there are some universities that have a campus in Vietnam. You need IELTS to be able to access those programs because everything is taught in English. To be able to graduate, some countries, some universities, depending on the course, depending on the subject, you require an English score or an IELTS score to graduate perhaps in your language studies program. Of course, the big reason here to study overseas, if you want to study in Australia, America, or England, you do need to show your English level. And IELTS is becoming the most common way to do that. And the last one we'll look at here is for work or immigration purposes. If you want to work for a foreign company or go and work in a foreign country, IELTS is becoming more of a requirement for companies and, as I said before, for countries' immigration purposes. So that's a little bit of information about what the IELTS exam is and why you need an IELTS score. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you at the website soon, theieltscoach.com. Thank you and goodbye.